Today we're gonna show a coin dealer some crazy silver coins out of my collection, like these modern ones right here, and even this old silver dollar that, while unlikely, may have even been held by George Washington. So we're going to be joined today by Keith from Coin Crew. He doesn't know what I'm going to show him, and we're going to see what he says about them, what kind of value he would put on them, and go from there. So let's do it, but really quick, if you are new here, don't forget to go down below. Make sure you are subscribed. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, and I'd love for you to be one of them. My channel is sponsored by sdbullion.com. New customers can get their first order of gold or silver at spot by going to sdbullion.com/new. All right, guys, so like I said, we're joined by Keith from Coin Crew. And Keith, what I want to do in today's video is show you some of the crazy silver coins I have in my collection, as well as some of the classic silver coins, including an old silver coin that I have that, while unlikely, may have actually been held by George Washington himself. We'll have to have you look at that. But I wanted to start off by showing you these and get an idea of if it's something that you think would sell easily in the shop. And if you know the approximate value, let us know. I'm not going to make you look them all up, but if you happen to have an idea. So I want to start off with this. This is a really cool one, and this is out of my personal collection. This is a Coca-Cola bottle cap. Now, this is made out of pure silver. You can see it's certified by NGC at PF69 Ultra Cameo. It's not a full ounce of silver. It's not anywhere close, actually. And if we can get that close, you can see it's marked 999, but over here, it's only 6 grams. Now, something like that, what do you think about it? Is it something that would sell well? What kind of price would you get?
I think that would sell well for just over a 1 ounce price, so like 35 to maybe 45. Anything more than that, it might be a slow seller.
Okay, so now I want to show you like a classic or an old coin, and we're going to kind of go back and forth here because I have some really old collectible numismatic coins in my collection, and we're going to start off with this thing right here. Now, this is probably, one of my least favorites as far as the stuff out of this, but that I'm going to show you today, but I wanted to bring in some random stuff. So we have an 1835. This is a large cent, but it is labeled as environmental damage VF details. Now, I'm sure you don't know the exact value of this without grabbing a gray sheet or something, but tell me this, the environmental damage on something like this, how much does that affect the value and the resellability of things like that?
Well, it isn't a detailed holder, so therefore the fact that it's detailed, it would get knocked down just a notch on pricing. So it would sell probably for an F price. Environmental damage is not something I truly am into, but some people just want the coin as a set filler.
Gotcha. So something like this, if it, gray sheet said, and I don't know, what the gray sheet says about this, but let's just say, use an example number. If it's $200 at VF and $150 at fine, it'd be more like $150 because of the damage.
Yeah, it would be selling at the fine price because of the damage.
Well, fair enough. Let me show you another modern coin then. So this one is actually a gift of mine. So this is also out of my private collection. I'll never sell this, but it does have a problem with it. So I want to show you, I'm going to start with the reverse. You can see that this coin is actually a square. Australia 2013, $1. And you can see at the top, it's actually milking a little bit. You see that?
Yes, I do.
And this was sent to me because of the whole, it's Wednesday, my dudes. That's the winter green tree frog from Australia. Now it is labeled as Proof 70 Deep Cameo, but something like this with that milk spotting, how would that affect the value in your shop? And then also, do you have an idea of what something like this would sell for at all?
I don't know the exact price on it as far as, up to date. I do remember them things used to go like $70 to $85 in a 70. But with milk spotting, it's not going to sell for a 70 price. Even though they say milk spotting doesn't affect the grade, in my opinion, it's a big detractor from the coin, therefore affecting the sale value. So looking at that, I wouldn't ask more than $40, $45 for it, even though it's a 70.
Okay, I kind of agree with that. So, and what I agree with isn't necessarily the value. What I agree with is I've had people in the comments when I've talked about milk spotting, yell at me saying milk spotting doesn't affect the grade. I know it doesn't, but it does affect the coin. Like, when people see that, a lot of people don't like to buy that, and so they'll just kind of pass over it. So you have to price it lower to sell it, right?
Yes, it does affect the resellability of a coin.
Gotcha. Okay, so this right here is one of my older large cents. I wanted to show this to you. Now, this has a very high grade, and as a result, really high value, even if you have to sell it at the grade below, because it is it's not environmental damage, it's spot remove. So this is my 1810 large cent. You can see it's spot removed AU details. Now what they're talking about is very clear. You can see it on the reverse.
Yeah, just above the 1 and in between the F and A of America there.
Exactly. But what do you think about something like this? Like, is this something that would sell easily in your store with, given it's such a high grade and because of that a high value? Last I looked this up, I want to say at AU. Granted, I know it won't sell for AU money, but I know this at AU last time I looked was around $3,000. So
wow,
yeah,
that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. It's not going to sell for that because of the spot removed. But how easy would it be for you to sell?
Again, it depends on if someone needs it for their set, and obviously it's not going to sell for AU money. However, I think with it being that expensive, I think it would probably sell XF45 money easy.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and show you now something a little bit more modern, but in the terms of modern, it's kind of a classic as well. So this, again, everything here is out of my private collection. I don't know why I keep having to say that, but this is a 1 ounce silver Spider-Man coin, but this predates when it got really popular to do all these Marvel coins and all these superhero coins and all these high value premium coins. This one is dated 1996 and it actually has a serial number. This is the design on it. So something like this, I know you'd probably have to look on eBay to see what they're actually selling for, or whatever, pricing you use for things like this. But, again, how hard is it to sell higher premium stuff like it's in the shop? I did a video the other day where I had a lot of trouble getting shops to offer me good numbers on stuff like this. So what are your thoughts?
Sometimes with the higher premium silver, it is hard to sell back to a shop or even to the customer because of the fact of the silver ounce price versus what you want for the coin. Being that, I guess you could say that's almost vintage, predating the modern Marvel stuff. It's very nice.
Yeah, this one again is not for sale. It's just out of my collection. But speaking of Marvel stuff, what about these? So this is my 1 ounce silver Thor. I have the Hulk, Captain America, Deadpool, and ironically another Spider-Man, although obviously this is a more modern one. What about these? Are these selling well? When I did that video, I don't know if you saw it, I actually had the most luck I had was actually on a Hulk coin like this. So what are your thoughts on like these modern Marvel coins? Do they bring a premium? Do they sell well? Do people ask about them?
They do bring a premium. They sell normally $50 to $75, depending on which character it is. However, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a Wolverine that has a error date on it.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
That one's very good, and that's got a big premium on it.
Right.
I think it's like 2018 when it's supposed to be 21.
Gotcha. All right, well, the next thing I want to show you goes back to the whole classic, and this, I'm going to give you an opportunity to show us your skills. So this, as you can see, is a large cent, and I'm going to do my best to do the lighting here on it. I want you to kind of look at it and tell me maybe what you think this would grade. So I'm doing my best to tilt it in the light here.
Well, I'm seeing on the reverse, I'm seeing a lot of the lines in the leaves. So that tells me it's a little bit higher grade. And if you flip it back to the obverse, you can notice there's a real strong hairline, very little wear. I would probably guess that. And again, I'm just a guy. I'm not perfect. Maybe an AU.
Okay.
I think I'd call it AU.
Okay. Well, you were close. It is, in fact, an AU, but I also wanted to know if you would notice that it was cleaned. But I get that it's very possible that it's hard to tell if it's cleaned through a camera. Okay. So
a lot of glare.
Yeah. So, but yes, you were right. It's an AU. So AU details clean. This is my 1835 at large cent. And I really wish this wouldn't have come back clean because it doesn't really look clean to me, but I'm not NGC. So,
well, it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but there is some type of sheen or something. And that could just be the glare of the lights.
That's fair. All right, so I want to get back to a modern piece, and then I'm going to show you a couple of older coins again. This is interesting, and I want to get your idea, and I'm going to tell you the value of it so that you at least have an idea. So what I have in my hand here, and Keith, you I have this, so you already know where I'm going with it because I've shown it to you before. But we have a 1 ounce silver Zombuck 2017. This is the Morgue Ann, and I love the way they do that. So morgue, as in the morgue. Morgan, get it? I love it.
Yeah.
But this is the 2017 Morgan. What I have is I have the 1 ounce silver, but I also have the error. And the reason I got this out is because you just brought up the error coin on the Marvel. And so you guys knowing, full disclosure, I did not plan on showing them to him today, but when he brought it up, I said, all right, hold on, let me go get these. I want to bring these out as well. So this one says, this is the air. It says 1 ounce 999 fine copper. So obviously it's a 1 ounce silver round, but it's struck with a copper die. Now these go for around $300 online. In your shop, could you get anywhere close to that? And what would you offer for it?
I think I would be offering more than I think I could get for it. I would offer 200. No, because I know they're worth 253 up to 350, depending on, how lucky you are with bidding it out. But I would offer 200, but I don't think I could get 200 retailing it out of the shop. Maybe at a show, but out of a shop, I don't know. People would be kind of sketchy. Big premium there.
It makes sense. Now, what I'll say is the argument on these, and I'm sure someone's about to comment down below before I talk about it, is that the die size on the copper is supposed to be a little bit different than the silver. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe their copper rounds were this size. I have no idea. But, people argue that they intentionally did this because it's obviously the exact same size as the silver round. I don't know for sure. But what I do know is that I would not sell this. Again, it's out of my private collection. I didn't even plan on showing it to him today for you guys watching. But this thing is really, really cool. I actually had 2 of these, and I did sell one of them to Silver Jackal, actually. But again, private collection. So I want to show you a couple more classic coins. So
before we go on, I want to comment about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were talking about the size. Maybe they do use different sizes, but maybe the copper has a wider rim on the exterior of the coin, and that could be it.
Gotcha. So it'd be the same diameter, but the copper would just be a little bit...
Would have a thicker rim.
Right. That would make sense. So it would fit into the same size. Got it. Okay. All right, Keith. So this next one, and I want your idea on a grade on this one as well, but it's raw, so... we can't compare it to an actual grade, but this is my 1877 trade dollar. Now, I'll get this close. I'll tilt it in the light so you can see all the breast feathers, the tips of the wings, so on and so forth. And then let me know if you need to see another side again, but you can see,
Well, again, I'm just a guy. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to have to throw a pretty high grade on that. I would say about an AU 55, maybe 58.
Okay. I appreciate that. I also think it's a high AU. Granted, it's not certified, so what they say could be different. But I mean, look at the breast feather detail on that. So, are these easy for you to sell? These trade dollars like that?
No problem selling trade dollars at all.
Okay.
Vintage coins sell so much better than the modern coinage.
Got it. Well, I want to show you another vintage coin. This one's actually it's an 1879, so it's a Morgan. So this. Out of everything you've seen here, including the thing I'm about to show you, this is actually the most prized coin in my collection, but that's because of a personal story. I want to ask you something about this. You know what? You're going to know the answer. You already know that this is artificially toned. You've seen it before. We've talked about it before. But, well, that's what they say. I want to ask you about this coin right here. So does this look artificially toned to you? And just be honest. If it does, it does. I just want to know. Or does it look like it was at the top of a roll and in the center they had like a pad or a piece of foam or some, a napkin or something to keep it from bouncing around in the tube, and then it toned around it? What are your thoughts?
Normally, I don't like to throw a grader under the bus, but I think NGC is wrong on this coin. I don't think it's artificially toned. I think maybe it was at the end of a roll, or maybe something was just sitting on it. Like you had a smaller coin on top of it, maybe, and it's just sitting loose because the reverse is not toned at all. And the obverse, that's just almost a perfect circle, like it was a coin may have been sitting on it, maybe, I don't know, a quarter.
Okay.
Or maybe it was just in a wrap where the edge of the wrap came out more, and it just kind of toned inward. It's just too perfect. I don't think it's artificial, but again, I could be wrong.
So I know it's not artificial, and I'll share the story with you. This coin right here, when my dad was still around, we used to have grading competitions, and this was one of the coins that was in the last send-off that we had before he got sick. So when this came back, he was livid because he loved this coin. He actually pulled it out of the roll himself. We know it's not artificial. He lost it. Like, he was not happy. And we had planned on cracking it and resubmitting it to PCGS, because I honestly think that if we send this to another grading company, it's going to come back a straight grade. but he got sick, and obviously that never happened as a result. So that's why this is the most important coin in my collection. Like, I will be starving before I sell this coin. Everything else I'll have, I will sell before I sell this. So thought I'd share that with you. But I agree, that's definitely not fake. That is a beautiful, real tone. NGC, thank you.
If I had to put a number grade on that toned 18790, looking at it, I would say an MS64 plus.
Okay.
And that's a real good toning. If it had a straight grade, that would be awesome. I've seen Silver Eagles like that sell for thousands when they got that bullseye toning.
Fair enough.
I'm sure that would be pretty high as well.
Well, I think it's a beautiful coin. Like I said, it's the #1 coin in my entire collection. All right, so I'm going to show you one more, Keith. I know we're going to call it here, but we may do this again in the future if people like this video. I want to get your idea on this one, and we're going to test your grading skills one more time because this one is certified. This is the coin I was talking about earlier. This is the coin that, while very unlikely, it's possible it was held by George Washington himself. You know, he died in December of 1799. Well, this is a 1798 large eagle silver dollar. This is certified by PCGS. Let me get it close here. I'll tilt it. So that is the reverse, and here is the obverse. You can see we have full hair here. It's a little flap, but full hair. What are your thoughts on this coin? What do you think it would grade?
Now, if you haven't done much with vintage coins as old as this, they are a little bit harder to grade on, I guess you could say, on a curve, so to speak, because you got to give it a little bit of generosity. If that was a Morgan, it would definitely be a VG, probably.
Okay.
But being it's a flowing hair, or draped bust rather, it's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with fine.
So fine.
Definitely a fine. It's the back is a little weak, and some of them were struck that way as well, and that's what makes it so hard to grade.
So what do you think? Like fine 12, fine 15?
I'd say fine, maybe 12. I wouldn't want to go above 12.
All right. Well, you're a little off on this one, but again,
15.
it's hard to grade stuff like this. So this one is a 1798 PCGS certified VF20 large eagle. So this is
only half as good.
This is probably my second favorite coin in my collection, and that's only because it's a silver dollar that is pre-1800. I mean, I love knowing that. I can't even imagine who used this coin. You know what I mean? So it just blows me away to even think about it.
That is one of those coins, you call it your could have been held by George coin.
Right, exactly. So
it's a beautiful coin.
Unfortunately, I'll never know. It's unlikely, but there you go. So what do you think about this collection and this kind of stuff? Like, is this a lot of stuff that would be easy to sell, or you think you'd be sitting on some of it for a while?
I think some of it would be easy to sell, and some of it, like the milked square 1 ounce frog. I know it's Wednesday, my dudes, but you might have to sit on that one a minute. The vintage Spider-Man, now that one, I don't think you would sit on it. It's just a matter of the right person coming in, because it predates all this modern Marvel and DC stuff. And that's what people want. They want the older stuff. Even if it's a modern silver coin such as that, it's still, in a sense, a vintage coin because it's predating everything. Beautiful coin. You sure you don't want to get rid of that?
I'm sure. I'm sorry. Again, I'd sell it before I sold this, but I'm not selling it. So
beautiful coin.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Well, guys, listen, that's all we have for you today. Keith, I want to thank you for joining me. And also, I want to let all of you know that Keith has his own YouTube channel. And just recently, he opened up that 50 count box of sealed proof sets from 62, 3, 4?
62.
62.
The box was sealed for 62 years, and they were 62 proof sets.
That's awesome. Well, guys, if you want to see that video or other great videos from Keith's channel, I'll put a link for it down below. And then go check them out. Keith, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. And guys, please leave a comment below. I think Seeker would like it.
Well, that's what Keith had to say, but I would love to know your thoughts. So guys, do me a favor, leave a comment down below. What was your favorite? Was it these? Or was it this? Or was it something else that I showed today? I would love to know. So let me know with a comment down below. Also, do me a favor, don't forget to hit that like button. Help YouTube recommend this video to others. And don't forget to check and make sure you're subscribed. Like I had said earlier, we're almost at 200,000 subscribers. And again, I'd love for you to be one of them.